All right, welcome to rounding. Now remember, we have some magic numbers that we need to refresh our memory on when we are rounding. So we always have to think about what are we going to do here. Now let's read our actual problem. The actual problem is telling us we need to round the number 962. Please grab your paper, your pencil, your whiteboard, your marker, and do this with me because it's easier if you do it with me. You get better. Faster. So you have the number 962. Please don't say and. And means there's a decimal point in the number, and that's not quite correct. That means you have a decimal point. 962 means this, and those two numbers are vastly different. So please don't do that. So 962 is the number that you are looking at. And we're going to look at the nearest, it says the nearest hundreds place. So we're going to look at the nearest hundreds place. That's the hundreds place. Okay? And now if you remember, we have some numbers that we need to look at. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These numbers are weak numbers. They are weak. They cannot push. They do nothing but come, show up, say, I can't help you, and they leave. They become zeros. So these become zeros. Then you have the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. These are strong numbers. They're strong. Okay? And those strong numbers, they will push up the number. They'll push it up, make it bigger. They'll make it bigger, and then they leave. They become a zero. Then they become a zero. So they push the number up, make it a bigger number, and then they leave. Okay? So we have the strong numbers, we have the weak numbers, and we have this number right here, 962. So we're looking at the hundreds place. So we look at this number right here. That's the number we're looking at, and we have to do something with it. Now, in order to do something with it, we have to look at its neighbor. Okay? We look at its neighbor, we look at the number to the right, and you decide, is 6 weak or strong? Well, we come over here and we notice, well, yeah, 6 is in the strong side. It's strong. So it's going to make 9 bigger. Well, just so that you know, 9 is just a digit, so it can't become bigger. You can add one more to it. That's what happens when you add one more to it, it becomes 10. And then it becomes this number, 9, will become 0 and 1 group. So this becomes 1,000. There's no more hundreds in there because you can't put a 10 in the hundreds. You can't put 10 tens in the hundreds. You have to put them and group them into one bundle and stick them in the thousands, because 10 tens is 1,000. Or excuse me, 10 100s is 1,000. So we have now that 9 became a 10, and then 6 says I'm leaving, and everything becomes a 0. So in this case, the 9 becomes a 10. You make it one more bigger. Then the 6 leaves. The 2 leaves, because 2 never helped. They were just there watching. And then 6 it leaves, because it doesn't do anything. And our new number then, 2 has to become a 0. And our new number then becomes 1,000, because it's the closest to the 900. It's closest to 962. 1,000 is closest. Okay, because if you were looking at a number line, if you have 900 here, and then you had 1,000 right here, 962 would sit, 962 is sitting closer to that than it is this. This is far, and this is close. Okay? So let's take a quick look. Now rounding is hard, guys. Really, really hard. So let's look at another number. Write this down, okay? So let's look at 9, 2, 4, 6. I'm going to take away that 6 because it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to round to the nearest hundreds place again, nearest hundreds place. And we're going to look at this guy because that's the number we have to round because it's in the hundreds place. Okay, so then we get a look to the neighbor. Look at the neighbor. Remember, if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, they are weak. They don't do anything. They just become zeros. They become 0. They can't help push. Weak people, weak things don't do anything. But if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they can help push. This is strong. So they can push the number up 1. Push the number up 1 level. Become 1 bigger. So this 9 will then become 1 bigger. It'll become 10. And then the rest then, but is it weak? But if you're looking at this number, is it weak or strong? Well, it's a weak number right here, so it can't do anything. It can't push this 9 to a 10. Can't do that at all. So it's going to say, sorry 9, I can't help you. You're just going to have to, and so 2 just leaves and becomes zeros, and 9's just left standing there. Oh, you can't help me? Oh, that's too bad. You can't help me. So 9 just becomes 900 because nobody could help them because they were just too weak. Okay, so let's look at another number really quickly here. Let's look at, and I'm spending a lot of time on the 9s because that's where people seem to get really hung up. So we're going to look at 9, 3, and 5. And again, we're going to look at rounding to the hundreds place. So we're going to look at 9 because it's in the hundreds place. We're going to look at the neighbor to the right. And 3 is weak. So this number is weak. So it can't help. It's going to leave. And 9 is just left standing there with nothing. 900. Okay? So then let's look at maybe a strong number. Let's look at a strong number. All the numbers behind leave. Okay? So let's look at a strong number. Let's look at 9 again. And we'll put a 9 and we'll put a 5 there. All of these numbers are strong numbers. All of them. And we're going to look at the hundreds place. So we're going to look at this number because it's in the hundreds place. Then we're going to look to the right into the number in the tens and ask ourselves, can it push? Is it strong? 5 doesn't matter. Who cares? You just ignore it. It just becomes a 0. Okay? 9 is strong, so it can push 9 up 1. It can push it up 1. So this 9 becomes a 10. And that 9's then like, okay, goodbye. We're done. I'm done. Peace out. It leaves with 5. So then the 9 becomes a 0. The 5 becomes a 0. So then 1,000. Okay? Again, tough, tough, tough. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you on the next video.